Hello and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to use this simple form to illustrate the concept of what is option strict and why do you need it. We could also talk about option explicit, but that's probably not going to be an issue, so I won't. I've got the most basic form possible. I used it in my previous video to do a little hello world program, and it looked a little like this. Text output dot text equals, and I wrote a word like hello world. And that was the end of the story. This worked fine because this is a text box, and a text box has a type of text. And this is a string because it's wrapped in quotes. However, it gets a little more interesting when I do something like this. Oh, what does that mean, right? You would think that might be fine. Basically what that means is display the number 10.5 in this text box, and that shouldn't be a problem, but it is. It's a basic conversion problem. So what needs to happen is I need to take this number and convert it into a string or a word or however you want to think about that. Now what's more concerning is if you're following along and that is not highlighted in blue, then it means that you have option strict off. And it needs to be turned back on. There's very few reasons why you would legitimately want it off, but by default it's off, so kind of weird. Let's fix it. So there's basically two ways to address this. One is under Tools, Options. Don't get too excited because this really isn't what I want to do here. I think it's Projects and Solutions, VB Defaults. And certainly I have it on, right? That's why I have that blue underline. If you do have that underline, then this video is irrelevant. You can turn it on here, but these are your defaults. In other words, future projects are going to have option strict on, but just turning it on in the middle doesn't work like that. Instead, it's a little bit uglier, kind of. So what you're going to have to do is head over here to your Solution Explorer, which hopefully you have. You may not. If you don't, I have a video called Configuring the Environment. So double click on my project. That opens up this set of options. Under the Compile tab is probably what I should call it. You can turn on option strict right here. And so yours probably is off. You want to turn it on. That is going to make it take effect in this document. Let me show you. If I turn it off, for example, and I head over here, right? No more errors. And you're like, that's kind of a solution. It's really not. So just turn it on, keep it on, it should always be on. Basically, what option strict on means, it means that all type conversions have to be explicit. And if you're learning how to program, you need to understand data types. Why are we using what we're using? What should this be? This should be a string. So I'm going to use something like cstring, which means take that number 10.5, convert it to a string, then put it in a text box. Kind of a poor example because you might be wondering, it's just a text box, we weren't even doing any math with it, why would we care? Well, in this example you probably wouldn't, but when you are doing math, you're converting from one type to another, you could run into some pretty big issues. So I'm running my program, really exciting stuff, it says 10.5, just like what you would have thought. So that's option strict. Option explicit, I will just mention it because I alluded to it and because you may have seen it in one of those other dialog boxes. Option explicit means that you have to explicitly declare your variables. And that's on by default. Of course you want that on. So option strict, go ahead and turn it on. And I will see you shortly. Thanks for watching.